Thank you for tuning in to Thoughts of an Overthinker, a podcast dedicated to self-growth for anyone pursuing a career or passion in the arts. With me, your host, Makai Iman. I am a person of many goals and aspirations. My main focus, however, has been building my acting career. After graduating NYU, I found that I was missing a very important piece, my community. Through sharing my personal experiences, each episode will aim to shed some light for others that can relate to the sometimes uncanny overthinking and anxieties while pursuing a career in the arts. I will be sharing personal advice, but please know that I am on this journey with you as well, learning as we go. See you in the episode, and remember to show some love. Your host, Makai Iman.
Tell niggas you love them. You hear me? Spread the love, man.
The word of the day is ineffable. Ineffable. Let me just make sure it focuses, because before it was not focusing, child. Can you see that? Whatever. So I'm gonna change it up this episode. I'm gonna actually get ready with y'all, or you're gonna get ready with me. I was talking to my professor, and he told me I need to schedule my life. I'm thinking that I want to go to a little cafe or something and just sit down and schedule out my life. But I also wanted to talk about it because I think it is important, and I think it's some good stuff. Because I had a conversation with my professor like last week sometime, and I was just in panic mode. I like my podcast and how it's going, or I like that there is a podcast. I didn't know what. First of all, it's like I was panicking because what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. And is what I'm doing right now, is that going to amount to what I want or what I see for myself in the future? Because I'm like, I know, okay, I do see what I'm doing right now, and I do know what I want to see in the future, but there's a huge gap between those things. And so I was talking to him about it because I want y'all to see like a piece, I want y'all to see like me being me in its entirety, and not just like, because me sitting down and talking, like, yeah, those are my thoughts, those are my feelings, emotions, whatever, but it feels so like, you know what I mean? Like it's like so stiff. One of the really good things that he said to me was that I have to learn or figure out how to schedule not just my content, like content schedule is one thing, but having a schedule for my whole life. Like he was like scheduling out everything, because right now he was like, it just seems like you have a lot of ideas and goals and passions and things, and that's great. And he was like, you could do it all. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear, because people be telling me I can't do it all, but who can't do it all? You can do it all. You just have to schedule out your life so that you can do it all. Write down all your goals, everything, every small, every big, write them all down. Also, he was like, write down all of your anxieties, fears, anything big or small, write them all down too. Because with the anxiety stuff or the fears and things, it's like once you get it out of your head, then they feel a little bit easier to tackle. And also, once they're on paper, it might seem less big once you put it on paper than how it feels in your head. I feel like my mind tricks me into believing that it's deeper than what it really is. So anyways, yep. So I was like, okay, now I know what the next steps are. I need to schedule out my life. And I wanted to like talk about this on my podcast and just like, you know, turn it into an episode, because honestly, it's real. And I decided to change up the way I wanted to go about it, because listen, like I said, I'm like happy that I started this podcast, but at the same time, it's like when I have an idea, a vision in my head, it's hard for me to like let go of that vision, because I want to see it actually happen. And that there's nothing wrong with like trying to actualize your vision, but I think I've talked about this before, and it's like you don't want your vision to hold you back. Like if you notice that you're not doing anything because of this vision that you have in your head, then that's a sign that it's probably holding you back, and you're not opening yourself up to like what it could possibly look like. Sorry, just a hairball that was on my leg. Anyway, You're not opening yourself up to what it could possibly look like, other than what you see it looking like. And I can be a bit of a perfectionist too. So like, I understand wanting it to look a certain way and not wanting it to look any way else but that thing. But at the same time, it's like, if you become your own enemy, then like, is it really worth it? I think I had this idea of how my podcast would look, that it would be like very like neat and very aesthetically pleasing. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not aesthetically pleasing. I'm just not that type of person. Like, I'm pretty all over the place. And I mean, like, I'll be put together. Ain't nobody said I wasn't gonna be put together. I'll be put together. Listen. This is my podcast. This is what it is. This is what the podcast is. It may look like a hot mess. You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning like camera angles. I'm still learning what looks good on camera, what doesn't look good on camera, how to sit, all this stuff. I'm still learning stuff like that. And even just for TikTok, like, I'm still learning, and it's okay. Like, I'm not beating myself up. Back to what I was saying though. So I'm getting all over the place. But I also don't know why I'm moving so fucking fast right now. Like, relax. There is no time crunch, like, relax. I think I'm just trying to beat the sun because it's already 4 o'clock, but the sun goes down at 7, so I can relax. The clocks move forward, my guy. You can relax. I don't know if y'all heard about Notion, but it's like the new, I don't know if it's new, but like it's the thing that people are using now, I feel like. Because my friend told me about Notion. I heard about Notion on either TikTok or YouTube or something like that. Some social media platform about Notion. I remember I tried to use it. And then I'm also not like super tech savvy. Like, I can figure things out. And I've always been the type of person to try to like figure things out on my own. But it's also like, there's so much, like with Notion, it's so much at once that I'm like, I don't know what these buttons mean or do. It's just too much at once. So I just kind of, and there's 2 apps, I think. I don't know how I got the second app, but I downloaded some other Notion thing, and I don't know what the hell that was. You don't want to just schedule out, scheduling out your day is good, but especially if you're a person like me, like, and you have a lot of artistic passions, plans and things that you want to do, it's important to schedule out time for yourself as well. Like, you need to schedule out your social life, because like, let's be honest, we are social beings and we need to socially interact with each other. We need to interact with each other. We need our friends, our family, and whatnot. So, but even those things, hanging out with people, you need to schedule that into your life. Almost like you're a very successful business person and you have to have a schedule for everything. Every meeting, every lunch break, every little conversation. You know what I mean? Like, every little thing that you need to do. If you have a flight, if you have blah, blah, blah. And what does your assistant do? Your assistant will schedule everything out, and they will let people know whether or not you have the time for this meetup or this brunch or this whatever. But right now, that's not where we're at. At least if you're watching me, you're probably not at that stage. So what we're gonna do is be our own assistant and figure out a schedule that works for us so that we know. And then he was also saying, like, it's better because this way you know what you have time for. Like, you don't have to guess because your schedule will tell you. You know how people are like, oh, well, I just have to check my schedule. No, for real. I gotta check my schedule. You know what I mean? Last week, it was a great example of how scheduling out my life could really benefit me, because somehow my whole week got ahead of me and I didn't film. I had nothing to post. And usually I have like a couple TikToks that are left over that I can post just in case I don't have time. But today is Tuesday, y'all. Today is Tuesday, March 11th, Tuesday. Wait, March 11th? March 12th. Today is Tuesday, March 12th. And it really is hard to keep up with everything and then also have a dating life and then also have friendships, all this stuff. It's hard. So that's why he really he really ate when he said that, you know? I feel like I was inspired by one of my friends who just started his YouTube channel, and I really like how he films his YouTube videos. Like, he doesn't film it like this exactly, but I like how it's more personable. And that was something that I said to him. I'm like, I really like your videos, and I want to somehow get more personable with my videos. I want my personality to come out. I want y'all to see a peek into my world. At the end of the day, I want my podcast to be the most ineffable podcast that you've ever seen. Did I use that right? I think I used that right. It definitely is something that can't be explained or described. I feel like when he makes his videos are like very, well, one, they're aesthetically pleasing, which I like, but also they're like him. Like, he's not afraid to sit down and talk to y'all, which, yes, that's what I do in my podcast, but it's different. Like, I don't know, it's different. Like, I feel like with my podcast, I assume position, you know, like, okay, we're talking, so now I'm gonna sit up, I'm gonna have my mic, and I'm gonna like talk to you guys about some serious stuff. But I'm not really a serious person, and like, not to say that I was trying to be somebody, but it's like, after watching so many podcasts, I felt like this is what I want to do. Like, okay, this is where I want to be in the podcast world. I want to be like this. But honestly, it doesn't have to look like that. And I'm just realizing that I don't necessarily need it to look like that for me to be proud of the work that I put out. I'm not gonna be hard on myself anymore, because I feel like I also think that because I change up so often, I can't stick with anything. And so I'm like, oh, now the lighting is changing, y'all. I might have to close that. Yeah, it's a little darker, but it's better. Before, that light was like, yeah. This is me. You know what really bugs me though? Sometimes I like watch my videos back and I'm like, damn, like that is so embarrassing. Like, imagine you're dating me and this oh my god. That was my higher self telling me to shut up. But I'm gonna finish my thought, because what I have to say matters. And what I was gonna say was, imagine you're dating me and they're like, oh, let me see her, and this is what this is what you see. Where is the podcast? Right. But you see what I mean? Like, I want to be one of those podcasters or content creators that just know how to film. They know how to put a video together. I feel like I can put a video together, right? But it's not aesthetically pleasing. And it doesn't have to be, I know. It doesn't have to be aesthetically pleasing, but I want it to be, because that's what looks good. But also, like, who says that it has to look that way? Who says? Fuck if I know what I'm talking about. That looks disgusting. Do y'all see? Oh, that just makes my head itch. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. I want to change up how I go about this podcast, because I want it to be more personable. I just don't know how to do it. And I think, is this okay? Like, are we talking, or am I, and is this considered a podcast? I mean, I think it is, because I'm just talking. And you know what? If I say it's a podcast, it's a motherfucking podcast. The fuck? The hell? If I said it's a podcast, then it's a podcast. I want to have this podcast be like, I'm talking while I'm doing other things though. Like, you know, like in almost like a day in my life. But I'm not talking about what's going on necessarily. I mean, I could mention it, but like, I'm really talking about whatever the topic is of the day. I just want to start talking to y'all, and then we just be chatting, because that's how I am. And I don't mean like I want it to be different from other people's. I just want it to be different from what it is right now. I didn't want it to turn into just like a video I don't know how to explain it. Like, I didn't want it to just turn into like a YouTube video, get ready with me. Like, I'm getting ready right now, but I'm also talking to you guys. And I know a lot of the get ready with me's are talking, but I don't want my videos to just be like a get ready with me. I want it to be a podcast, but if I happen to be getting ready, then I'm talking while I'm getting ready. I mean, we'll see how this goes, because I don't know. We'll see how all of this goes. Scheduling out my content, scheduling out my life, seeing how this works for me, because I'm new to this. I ain't true to this, you know what I'm saying? I just want my podcast to be a little bit more engaging. So I'm going to try a new editing style. You'll probably see it for this video. I need help. I need guidance. Because this podcast is all over the place. Before I had like a steady, like, okay, this is how the podcast is gonna go, this is what it's gonna look like, da da da. But I don't really like the way it is. Like, I'm not fulfilled. I want more out of it. So I want to bring myself, you know, I'm not using the mic. And that's another thing that I was thinking about, is that if I don't use the mic, the audio is gonna sound different, which I'm a little worried about, but we'll see how I can tweak it so that it sounds still like good. This whole podcast, what I've been communicating, what I've been saying is that I'm figuring it out as I go, and it's gonna be messy. So this is a mess. I should rename my podcast The Mess. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 8. This has been Thoughts of an Overthinker with your host, Makai Iman, and I'll see y'all in episode 9. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that. Show some love, because your girl needs it. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Okay, bye.